And Anna Foster is in West Yorkshire, in Bradford to be precise, and specifically, even more precise as we like to be here on BBC News, in the constituency of Bradford West. Anna.
Marianne, thank you. This feels like quite a contrast, actually. When you look at the campaign trail, you look at the battle buses and all the things that are going on, the glitz and the glamour. Well, this is Bradford Central Foodbank, and this is just a tiny slice of real life and of some of the issues that the politicians are going to have to deal with after the election. Because when the doors opened here a few minutes ago, people were queuing out of the doors. I was just talking to one of the volunteers who's handing out treats, some of the baked goods that they've got today, and he told me that sometimes it makes him actually want to cry when he considers the situation, the difficulty and the desperation of some of the people who come here for help. Now, Josie is with me. You have been showing us around this incredible place, which is full of warmth and positivity, but also, you know, some of the people that you're helping here, as we were saying, are in an enormously difficult situation. The cost of living is really biting here.
Yeah, it really is. People do have to really choose between heating their house or feeding the kids, just making impossible choices all day, every day. Like even whether to put the kettle on, whether you've got enough electricity to have a cup of tea, those sorts of things are what people are facing.
Yeah.
You know, I've had school support workers come in and tell me that kids have been going through the bins, and then they've had to have a sit down with the parents and give them a food parcel so they could come and collect food. You know, that sort of thing. It's just one of my volunteers is a teacher, and she said she's had kids begging for bagels in the classroom and things. So that's just not. It's just not right. It's just not right, is it, that we live in a country that's, you know, a rich country comparatively the rest of the world, and yet we're having this situation happening.
And it's something that's key for the politicians to deal with. I know. Where's Gary? Oh, Gary's going to come across and have a chat with us, because he is one of your volunteers.
Yeah, he's a volunteer now, which is great, which is something I love about Foodbank, that anyone can volunteer. So we have quite a lot of people that have come into Foodbank, use the service, want to give back and start volunteering, and Gary is one of those people that's done that. So you used the Foodbank, didn't you, beforehand?
I did use the Foodbank before. I was in a slightly difficult situation, and then I was struggling for food and everything, and so I came to Foodbank to get a parcel and been volunteering ever since.
And just give us an idea, Gary, because it's really important, I think, for people who are watching this to know what life is like when you live on benefits, and the difficulties, some of the choices that you have to make when you don't have as much money as you need.
Yeah, well, I don't have that much money whatsoever, so I cannot even afford to put my heating on whatsoever. I can only afford the very basic stuff and everything. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like, you know, the politicians, all of them, when you watch this election campaign, do you feel that they're considering the really important issues? You know, people, the kind of people that we've seen, loads of them here today, who need more from society.
I just wish that government would pay out more money, and then people would not be in this situation.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Whoever that government might be in a few weeks' time.
The government will be.
Yeah, and that's one of the key things, actually, Josie, people are telling us, because actually we should just look at what you've got here. Thank you, Gary. I know you're really busy. Thank you for making a moment to talk to us. The things that you've got here, you were just explaining. You've got, I mean, these beautiful, the way you've laid this out here looks fantastic. These are sort of fresh food that you've got to help people, give them some treats for the kids maybe. And then the extra sort of produce you've got to give the food parcels as well.
Yeah. So what we do is we give an emergency 3-day food parcel, which is all in-date, long-life stuff, and we do different sizes for different families, and we have halal as well, so we have a lot of Muslim families that come and use the food bank too. And then this fresh stuff here that you're seeing, the baked goods and things, that's all extra stuff that people get, fruit and veg, fresh food and fresh bread and everything. And that's what we go around the supermarkets and pick up early morning, this extra stuff.
All the things you see here.
Yeah,
and I know you give advice and support, you help people with benefits, all kinds of things you do.
Exactly,
so speaking, you know, directly to the politicians now, the people we're seeing and hearing on the campaign trail, what is your message to them about what they need to be considering, really? What should be front of mind in this campaign?
Well, I think as a country we need to have a compassionate response to people that have fallen on hard times. You know, people don't want to be in this position, whether it's through unemployment, whether it's through relationship breakdown, whatever the reason, people have fallen on hard times and they are struggling to feed their families, and that's not right. So I think as a country we need to have a compassionate response to that. And one of the things they can do is to guarantee our essentials, which is what the Trussell Trust and lots of other charities are calling on government to do, which is to basically make sure that the level of benefits that people get will actually mean that people can afford the essentials of life. So whether that, food and heating and bills and all the rest of it. So that's something they can really practically do. And then also lift the two-child tax benefit to scrap that. Because obviously when people have more than 2 kids, then they don't get any of those benefits associated with the costs of having a child. And the last thing as a country we want is to see children struggling and not eating and going through the bins in their classrooms because they want a bagel, they want something to eat. And doing that would lift up 250,000 children out of poverty pretty much straight away. So
some key messages from you. Thank you, Josie.
Yeah,
It's really important work. You can see what it means to people here. Thank you so much for making some time to talk to us. As we said, we're in the constituency of Bradford West at the moment. If you want to see a full list of candidates,